What would you say if I told you that there was a simple way to ensure better reading, math, and critical thinking skills for school-age children? What if I told you the same path of study increases a child's likelihood of earning a bachelor's degree and making higher scores on the SATs by 30%? What would you think of this very simple element as being cut from school funding, especially in rural public schools where it's perhaps the most necessary? I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you about that very simple, essential ingredient in our children's education that's being threatened every day. The element I'm speaking of is arts education. 3 main points that I would like to share with you today are that arts education support and enhance academic skills. Arts are essential to our children's future for globally competitive employment, and that the arts are still facing budget cuts in many public school systems despite overwhelming evidence of success, especially in poorer areas. Introducing to you the ABCs of arts education. Arts education supports and enhances academic skills. They are basic and they are comprehensive, or the ABCs of arts education. Academic support begins with literacy. Reading and language skills. Studies show that there's a direct correlation between studying the arts and improved skills in language and reading. Mathematical skills. Analysis conducted of multiple studies confirms the finding that students who take art classes in high school are more likely to score higher on standardized tests such as the SAT. Why does it work? When students create stories, pictures, or their nonverbal expressions, they are learning, a process researchers call elaboration. They are also helping to better embed the information. When students interpret their scientific findings through their data visualization, they're able to work through real-life mathematical problems while troubleshooting a design. Arts integration naturally involves several ways of processing information that have been shown to improve long-term memory. Learning in the arts is basic. Experiences in artistic learning processes contribute to motivational thinking and social skills. Cognitive or thinking skills refers to a various thought process, such as imagination, perception, reasoning ability, intuition, and expression. Spatial, rational, and temporal reasoning. Arts teach you how to make judgments in the absence of rules, to tolerate ambiguity and weigh alternatives, and pay attention to nuance. In a study, a group of 162 children ages 9 and 10 were trained to look closely at works of art and reason about what they saw. The results showed that the children's ability to draw inferences about artwork transferred to their reasoning about images in science. Learning in the arts is comprehensive. The benefits associated with arts integration are inclusive of all students, and often the greatest results are measured among those who are educationally and economically disadvantaged. Students who study art are four times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement and 3 times more likely to be awarded for school attendance. Social skills. Teaches community involvement, social engagement, and increases student involvement. Art provides motivation to learn, help foster innovation by teachers and students in all areas of learning. Creates a positive school environment, which is conducive to a learning environment. I think with so much evidence, it's easy to see how valuable arts education programs are in our school-age children to help them learn. But there's another critical way that the arts are important to students and their learning. The arts are essential to our future generations' ability to be globally competitive. Currently, the United States ranks 27th in math, 20th in science, and 17th in reading among globally competitive nations, ranking overall 21st behind smaller nations such as the Czech Republic, Poland, and Slovenia. America has lagged behind its peers, rarely rising above middle of the pack and doing particularly poorly in science and math. Arts programming is mandatory in countries that consistently rank at the top of math and science, like Japan, Hungary, and the Netherlands. A quote by Arne Duncan, the U.S. Secretary of Education, indicates that education in the art is more important than ever. To succeed today and in the future, America's children will need to be inventive, resourceful, and imaginative. The best way to foster that creativity is through arts education. Art creates the need for critical thinking. Critical thinking is, in the end, the only way to protect American jobs. Quoted by Steve Jobs. In 2013, 2 Oxford scholars conducted a comprehensive study on employment and found that for workers to avoid computerization of their jobs, they will have to acquire creative and social skills. Despite the obvious importance in providing competitive education for our future generations, there are still low-income areas in America that are cutting arts education programs or simply do not have them. Arts education is still being threatened, and studies show that nearly 40% of elementary schools have no formal arts education curriculum. In fact, the Los Angeles Unified School District, the state's largest, 1/3 of the district's 345 arts teachers were let go between 2008 and 2012, and arts offerings for half of the K-5 students were reduced to 0. Last year, Lansing public school officials laid off all of their elementary art and music teachers. These facts are a disturbing truth. How do we help encourage the government to spend more of their budget on such an important part of American public education? Speak up. Find out how your schools are doing and get involved. In conclusion, arts and education matter. Art and education supports and enhances reading, math, and science. Arts and education helps to prepare our future generations to have real-world experience to compete for jobs against workers from other nations. Arts and education is still threatened in many areas where it would be most beneficial. Although it is very plain to see how important the integration of the arts and education is to students of all ages, increasing their capacity for learning, for compassion, for feeling a connection to culture as they learn to be prepared for a global workforce, we as a nation still face critical decisions in education. These decisions are something each of you has within you a voice to instill change. Please consider standing up for the arts in your local communities and school districts based upon what you've heard here today. Thank you.